Are you feeling like you have some brain fog or you're just stiff and sore and inflamed? Well, it's most likely your lymphatic system. And when your lymphatic system is clogged, think of like a mucky fish tank, dirty, grimy. That's your interstitial fluid. That's all the fluid running inside your body. Because guess what? Your ducts to your lymphatic system, they're not draining. Again, here's another analogy. Think of a clogged toilet. So let's unclog that today. We're going to go through what is called the big six, and we're going to go over the main choke points of where a lymphatic system can get stagnant. And that is not good because it releases a bunch of toxins, can cause a cascade of other issues such as disease and inflammation. Now, some of the things that I use with my clients is my Soglo lymphatic cream, and this has yarrow, burdock, cleavers, and candula, and it has essence of jasmine and frankincense that are just super healing. It's like walking through a beautiful herb garden with some flowers. So I always like to put on my cream and do this lymphatic flow. Or if you're not much of a lotion person, I did create it and an oil. So you can always check that out over on my Etsy shop. And I always finish up anything with my magnesium spray, and it has jojoba and frankincense in it. So let's go ahead and get going with the big six. This is really important. You want to do this before you work out, before you go to, a massage or whatever it may be, before you go to surgery, anything that you are doing that is going to cause any stressors to your body or make your body increase its heart rate. You want to make sure that you have good lymphatic and blood flow because we are the pump to our lymphatic system. But then we're going to go through and do a lymphatic workout to really help get everything moving and grooving, because when you have poor lymphatic flow, you have poor blood flow. And when you have poor blood flow and things are constricted, nutrients can't get in and get out. And so then that's when you're going to start feeling the neuropathy, the leaky gut, the inflammation, the sticky stiffness of your joints. Your fascia is going to get really bound. And if you are not good at being hydrated appropriately with good minerals, then that's also going to exacerbate the system as well too. So let's begin. So we're always going to start, remember, order matters. We're always going to start here at the clavicle. So I'm going to come up close and you can see you have the top and the bottom. And so you want to make sure you want to get in there. And I always just kind of do like a V with my finger. You want to get in there and you don't want to go super hard. There should be no pain, but you'll probably feel, like little knots or pressure. And if you do, just stay on that area for a little bit and then just, massage it. You want to stay in this area for maybe 15, 20 seconds. And then I always give them a couple of taps up on the bottom and the top. Okay. And so that is my right side. And I'm going to come over to my left side. Right side drains 25% of your lymph. The left side, this is the big dog. He drains 75%. And what I mean by that is that he drains all your left side, your head, your gut, your legs, both of your legs, and your left arm. As the right side only does the arm and then just this chest area and then just this right drainage area. So that is why it's really important to unclog these drains, because there will be lymph nodes that travel across from the right to the left. So if this is jammed, it's going to divert it this way, and it's going to take more work for it to get there. So we want to make sure also with our posture that we're not rolling forward, because then that's also going to shut off that flow and that detour, especially in our diaphragm as well too. This diaphragm, we can get really sticky in here, and that's something else we're going to do. Then we're going to go back behind the angle of the jaw. We have a lot of lymph nodes behind the ear, and once again, I'm taking my fingers and not a lot of pressure. And I even like to go in here and grab my ear and just kind of pull up and make like a J shape with the earlobe. Really good. We got a lot of sensory, got a lot of nerve endings, a lot of facial cranial nerves that go through the ear. And then including right down here where our carotid artery is, we have 12 cranial nerves coming down this side and 12 on the other side, including our most valuable nerve. One of the most valuable players is our vagus nerve, and that vagus nerve controls that sympathetic dominant switch, which puts us in that fight or flight, like run away from the lion kind of thing. So we want to make sure that that switch isn't always on, because if it's always on, we're always in a stressful loop that can lead to adrenal burnout and so many other things that we do not want. And then I just give a light tap, be very gentle through here. And then something else that I'm going to add to that is that under our submental, this is where our chin is at, in our submandibular, when we get a lot of dental work done, it can drain right in here and we feel like we have like this double and triple chin. Well, that's just where everything's just really collected, all those toxins, the anesthesia, all of the shots, because when they give us the shot in our jaw, we have a trigeminal nerve that comes this way and then up through our mouth. So that's what helps make us numb. And so that can just really get clogged. And when we don't drain it, that can cause a lot of gum issues, a lot of bleeding gums, a lot of other dental issues that are reoccurring because your mouth biome is connected to your gut biomes. I'm just taking my thumbs and I'm just getting a little pressure, and you're probably gonna feel like little bumps and little, I don't know, like little roadblocks in there. They'll pop around like little balls. And some of them may feel a little sore, and you can just lean into them just a little bit. It should not hurt. If you're hurting yourself, please reduce the pressure. And then just kind of bring everything gently back to the back of your neck, right back to like that occipital part. And then you're just gonna just massage it down. Okay. And you can just take both hands and just massage straight down to those drainage ducts. Because then once everything gets out through here, then it just goes out through, your kidneys help filter everything, your spleen helps filter everything, and then it comes out of your sweat, urine, pee, breathing, promise, even breathing helps you get rid of toxins. I want you to make sure that you're cognizant of being a nasal breather. You breathe in through your nose, make sure that your inhales are shorter than your exhales, because your exhales are going to help you get into the parasympathetic mode. So the deeper our exhales, okay, I know they say take a deep breath. Yes, take a deep breath, but you want to have a longer exhale. And we want to do nasal breathing because that helps increase our nitric oxide, which helps vasodilation, which helps open up the blood flow, opens up those vessels. Now that we've done spot 1 and spot 2, now we're going to go to spot 3. I'm going to just shout out to all the ladies. We have a lot of lymph nodes, and they're right next to our girls, and they run all through into our pecs. And if you've had any surgery where you've had lymph nodes removed, your lymphatic system on that side and that exit point is having to do double time. So please take extra TLC to that side if you've had any surgery, any lymph nodes removed to any part of your body, because that is going to put more stress on that area to help exit and pump that toxic muck. And so I like to get over in the pec, because a lot of us will say, well, I got like this bulging part right here. Really get in there, okay? It shouldn't be painful. Like I said, you don't want any pain. But if you feel like a sticky point, get in there and massage it, and then always follow up with some tapping, okay? And then you want to get into your armpit. And some people will have some sensitivity in here, and that's okay. That just shows that traffic stopped. There's traffic jam, it's stagnant, and you just have to get in there. And then I always pat it. And you can always get a vibration ball, which is really good. So, if your hands, get sore after a while, or you have a hard time getting in there, just get a small vibration ball and just stick it right underneath there. And that works just as well. And the first 3 that I've done, you can do sitting if you like. And then once you're done, you just pat. Now we're going to go to the stomach. And this is really important because we have our diaphragm right underneath our rib cage. It's just right in here, and we can feel really sticky right in this area, okay? And if you're really inflamed, that's where that vagus nerve comes in, that phrenic nerve, and it can just feel very, very tight and stuck, because if we have poor posture and our shoulders are rolled forward and we got that text neck, that bowling ball effect, that is going to pinch off not only how our airways flow nice and free when we're in the corrective posture, but when we're rolled over, we're pinching that off. And that also causes us to kind of pinch into that balloon that's supposed to expand and move our organs around and keep everything flowing, because we have a lot of lymphatic lymph nodes in our gut. So we have our liver, and he's a big guy. And then we got our spleen on this side, and he helps clean our blood plasma. So I want you to just rub side to side and use some pretty firm pressure. No pain. No pain should be taking place with this. And then up and down. The first scar we ever got was our belly button. And if you start at your diaphragm and come down, you can do this laying down, but some people can even feel it standing up. They can start feeling a little bit of pressure in this area and around their belly button, because we have a lot of ganglia here, which are just a bunch of balled up nerve endings. And so sometimes we really just got to help loosen those up so that they can flow a little more freely, because they can get contracted and smashed together, especially if we have those rolled shoulders and we're forward all the time in that poor posture, especially a lot of us that sit in front of a screen, you name it. So once we're done there, I'm going to just pat here. And then now we're going to go to the inner thigh, so this inguinal area. And this area seems to get cut off so often because we're always in that sitting posture. So here, I just kind of karate chop that middle part, and you can get in there with your hands, okay? And this will be a little sensitive for some. This is point number 5. Point number 6 is going to be the back part of your knee, and that is called your popliteal. And this area seems to be kind of a really sticky point for many. Starting from the gut down, that can cause a roadblock. So just think nothing can get out from the feet to the gut back up to the drain. And so a lot of people will have inflammation, they'll have hip pain, they'll have back pain, they'll have knee pain, they'll have swollen legs, swollen knees, swollen thighs, spider veins, varicose veins, whatever you want to call them, because this is a big drain point right here. And so when things get stagnant, things are going to slow down, things are going to get constricted, and things are going to get full of that toxicity from the lymphatic waste. So after you're done, just go ahead and tap that. Now that we've opened up our body with the big 6, so once again, your collar, your clavicle area, below and above, behind the angle of the jaw. And then I did give you a little bonus one for underneath the chin. And then you're going to go to your axillary, which is under your armpits, and then a little bit of your pecs. Then your stomach is number 4. Your inguinal, the crease of your groin area to your hips, is number 5. And then behind the knee, your popliteal, is number 6. Now we're going to get into the exercise. So now that you've opened up the big choke points, we're going to go ahead and start with some circles. Now you can do this sitting down. That's fine, but I want you to challenge yourself. After you do it a few times, stand for a few of them, and then the ones that you need to sit for, please sit for. Listen to your body and what works best for you. And so do about 10 one way, 10 the other way. So what we're doing right now is we're really working those arm circles. We're also working the clavicle area. So we're getting points 1 and 3 with this. Okay, and you'll get your blood flowing, you'll get your heart rate up doing this. So this is really good. Now I want you to just look to the side, look to the other side. We're working that sternocleidomastoid muscle, that little rope muscle that comes down behind your ear. Plus it's also good for your vestibular, because you're having to focus, you're turning your head, some can get a little dizzy, but this is keeping your brain active and engaged to keep you stable as you do simple movements. The next exercise number 2, is we're going to do backstroke, and then we'll do a butterfly stroke. So this is really opening our chest. This really helps open up that diaphragm as you kind of arch back. You're opening up where you've just really had those sticky points in that poor posture. Now we're going to rotate and go forward. And this is really good for the upper neck area. Again, as you're doing this, breathe in and out of your nose, longer exhales. And I want you to think about where your tongue is at. It should be at the roof of your mouth. That's going to help stabilize your neck better, keep your posture in alignment so you don't, pinch or cause a twinge in your neck or in your arms as you're doing this motion. So now the next thing I want you to do is I want you to take your hands, and you can place them just like on the small part of the lower part of your back, and we're just going to pump it out. Okay, this is really good. You're going to feel it again in the neck and the clavicle and the shoulders. This is just really getting that upper body flow. Plus it's also working your arms. We also have lymphatics all in our arms, all the way down to the palms of our hands. So it's just really activating every area. And it's a great arm workout as well too. Simple. Again, you can do this sitting down if you prefer. There's going to be a few that would be best standing up, but again, you listen to your body. Get into a wider stance, so about shoulder width apart, and we're going to start working our way down. We've done some opening of the diaphragm with some of our back strokes, and now we're going to start working on the belly area, and we're going to just do hip circles. Okay, so this one you're most likely going to need to stand up for. This would probably be the only one you would really need to stand up for. I want you to just make those circles as big as you can going one way, 10 to 15, because we got a lot of lymph nodes. We're getting in the groin area, the reproductive organs, everything is getting moved around right now. Okay, switch positions. And if you hear any like cracking or snapping, as long as it's not causing you any pain, that's okay. Just adjustments in your skeletal system, in your fascia. And make sure you stay hydrated today. Make sure you get some good sea salt. I use Redmond sea salt. It has over 80 minerals in it. Super good for your hydration. Regular water doesn't have enough minerals to help support the ones that we need that are essential. All right, so once we're done with the hip ones, now we're going to open up with some hip flexor ones. Now you can use a wall or a chair to help you stay stable. So you're just gonna bring your knee up and out, up and back in, okay? And if you can only do maybe a set of 5 going out and in, that is totally fine. Just do as many as you can and work your way up to 10 to 15. Use a chair for your balance. Again, breathe in through your nose, out through your nose. Your exhales should be twice as long. So breathe in for 4, exhale for 8. So once again, we're just getting that inner thigh, that groin area, just really opening everything up. We're also opening up and activating the back of our legs and our glutes, because everything will come forward to drain and then up to the drain. So everything from the back end is going to come around to the body and then come up, okay? All right, next exercise is the knees. Now, for the knees, you're going to pick your leg up and you're just going to do some knee circles. Let me scoot back just a little bit more. So you can see, go clockwise, 10, and then counterclockwise, 10. Because now we're getting into that popliteal area, which is really, really important. This is a big choke point for many, including the gut. The last thing we're going to do is a calf pump. So you can stand about shoulder width apart, and you're just going to go up to the balls of your feet and down. You're standing in line at the grocery store, or if you're standing and waiting for something, just do a couple of calf pumps and do about 10 of those. And then I want you to just shake everything out. And you can get on a rebounder, you can get on a vibration plate, whatever you want to do, but you should feel warm. Your body should feel activated. This would be a great time to go for a walk, go and do your workout. But this is a great way to help your body start detoxing before you start going to a massage, before you go work out, whatever it is that you're doing, even before you start your day. This is going to be such a great warm up for you. And don't forget to check out my magnesium spray, my lymphatic cream, and my lymphatic oil over on Sweet Country Glam's Etsy shop. Stay grounded and rooted in Jesus.